If you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, this video is going to save you months of research. I'm going to break down everything you actually need to know before you make the move, whether that's the good, the bad, the cost of living, traffic, weather, food, commute times, just everything that is going to be involved with the day-to-day of what it's going to be like to really live here. And I live and work in Charlotte, and I help people relocate here every single day. So this is coming from real experience, not just your Google headlines. So by the end of this video, you're going to know if Charlotte is the right city for you or if you should start looking elsewhere. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. Charlotte is centered right in the middle of North Carolina, where you are about 2 to 3 hours away from the mountains, and then you're about 3 hours away from the closest beach. So you do have the opportunity where if you wanted to take a day trip or an overnight trip to one of those, then you certainly can. And we're about 4 hours away from Raleigh and about 3.5 hours away from Atlanta. So you definitely have a lot of options, and we have the Charlotte International Airport right here, the Charlotte Douglas International Airport that travels in-state and also international as well. So there's a lot of options for you when you are looking to travel outside of Charlotte. So Charlotte, when you zoom in here, is wrapped around by this 485 loop. Now, the 485 loop is going to take you all around, whether you're going to east, to west, the south, the north, Charlotte, anywhere you're looking to go. A lot of times when you're going to be traveling from, say, South Charlotte up to Mooresville or somewhere up toward Lake Norman, you're going to be taking this 485 loop around Charlotte. Same goes if you're looking to go up to Matthews. If you're living down in Ballantyne, for example, a lot of times you might take the 485 loop just through this section just to get to Matthews. Or if you're looking to go anywhere pretty much. So just to kind of give you a brief example of what it's like to kind of travel around, a lot of times you're going to be taking those, the 485 to get there. So let's go ahead and actually start in what is called Uptown here in Charlotte. Uptown is going to be separated by 4 different wards. You're going to have first ward, which is East Uptown, and then second is going to be South Uptown, and then you got third, which is going to be more west, and then your fourth is your North Uptown area. So now first ward is going to be more of the residential, and you're going to have more areas like the First Ward Park. So that's just some urban type of green space that you can go out and play, look at the skyline. Really beautiful just to kind of go out there just to spend some time, rent some scooters, do whatever you'd like, spend time with family. It's right there across from the Knight Stadium. So it's a great place to kind of just hang out, just get some vibes in. And it's a great mix of just quiet living and also in enjoying some of those city amenities. Now, Second Ward is going to often be called the Government District. So this is where you're going to have places like the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the Marshall Park, and the Green. And it's just a place that is going to feel less residential than others. It's an area that has museums, courts, some parks, some activities, just some things to do. Now, Third Ward is actually going to be like your entertainment district. So this is where the Bank of America Stadium is, and you're going to have a lot of other things here. So the BB&T ballpark. So this is where the Charlotte Knights play, and also we have Charlotte FC, which is a soccer team that is playing in the Bank of America Stadium as well as the Carolina Panthers. And you're going to have a lot of entertainment and a lot of parks and stuff that are just kind of like good hangout spots, some bars and some places that are just kind of good just to go if you're looking for that weekend feel, just to kind of get out there a little bit. Now, Fourth Ward is your North Uptown area. So this is going to be most of your residential and historic type of homes area. So you're going to have some of those historic Victorian type of homes mixed with some modern condos. And then you got the Fourth Wood Park, and you're going to have Discovery Place Science Museum there as well. So you're going to have a lot of that more residential feel, mostly in your first and your fourth wards, where you're going to have the third and the I'm sorry, the second and the third wards are going to be more of your commercial space. But don't get me wrong, you will still find some commercial spaces down in the first and fourth wards, but it's all really tight niche. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. So next we're gonna first go a little bit further south. So let's talk South End just for a minute. Now, South End is going to really be just one of Charlotte's hottest neighborhoods, just south of Uptown. It's a trendy, walkable, urban type of area where it's built around the light rail, and it's got easy access to get into Uptown and the rest of the city. You're going to have tons of restaurants, breweries, bars, just art galleries, just a lot of unique type of shops and boutiques. And there's a real nice coffee shop there. Not Just Coffee, I think is the name of it. Yep. I'm there quite often and meeting clients over there. So South End is going to have a lot of that urban. You got young entrepreneurs, a lot of young business people too, young financial people. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of condos, a lot of apartments, and really South End is a super desirable area to be in the Charlotte area. You got all kinds of different things through here, all kinds of bars as you just kind of make your way down that whole road. Let's go a little bit further south here to get into the LoSo area. So LoSo is going to be a little bit further south as you kind of get more into this area over here. So LoSo is actually going to be LoSo stands toward the lower South End, and it's right beside South End. So it's trending. It's trending real hard right now. There's a lot of restaurants and stuff that have opened up in recent years, and it's a newer area. So it's got a lot of the trendy breweries and eateries that you'll see, and you got a lot of social spots. There's some pickleball bars and some coffee shops and just some casual type of hangout areas. But Taco Boy, that's another good one over there. And Body Rock Studios. So, I mean, you just got all kinds of things over in the LoSo area that are just really popping off. And it's worth checking out. If you're looking for a townhome or a condo, especially, like, this is a great area to check out and try to get in while you can. I mean, it's a popular spot. So let's go ahead, and that is right south of South End. And let's talk about Dilworth a little bit. Dilworth is actually going to be just south or just a little bit east on the side of South End. And Dilworth is one of Charlotte's most desirable historic type of neighborhoods. Now, when I say historic, there's also a lot of newer homes that are also being that have been built in some mansions that have been built in the Dilworth area. Dilworth has a lot of tree-lined streets. You got a lot of historic type of bungalows, some front porches. You got a lot of those craftsman's type of homes, and you'll have some restaurants, cafes, wine bars. Just all of that stuff is going to be there as well. And it's really popular for good reason. I mean, there's just a lot of different shopping and things around Dilworth as well that just make it such a desirable place to be. You're going to have Freedom Park nearby. I mean, that's probably one of Charlotte's most major parks that is around the South Charlotte area. People really desire this area just because even though it sounds like there's a lot going on, it really is more of, it feels like a quiet residential neighborhood where you're just a few minutes out from Uptown and the South End area. So it's really like for those people that have kind of moved on from South End in a way, and they're just kind of looking for that bigger home that they're just kind of looking to either just kind of relax and they're just moving up in the world. And they're just looking for that community oriented feel where it's just a classic balance between those historic type of that historic charm and just the convenience of what Dilworth has to offer. We're going to move a little bit further south here. We're going to talk about this triangle right through here. When I say triangle, imagine Uptown, and you see through here, it says 74 on it, and you go down East Independence Boulevard, which is this road through here, and then you start looking down through here pretty much alongside this road through here. So almost looks like a little triangle in a way. This is, for the most part, going to be your South Charlotte area. Now, we're going to dive in. You have a lot of nice options and a lot of great places to live within this triangle through here. So South Park is really going to have a lot of different things here that could attract a lot of different types of folks. So you're going to have things like the South Park Mall, which is Charlotte's luxury and largest upscale type of mall, with, I think they have over 150 vendors, including places like Neiman Marcus. They got Nordstrom. There's a suit supply opening up soon, and there's just a lot of high-end. They got Louis Vuitton, and just a lot of high-end and everyday brands. So they got places like H&M and Macy's and Dillard's and Belk's and stuff as well. So have a large, wide variety of different places to kind of shop inside the mall. And compared to a lot of malls in most cities, this one is actually really, really popular, and there's a lot of people that will go to it. It will have more people than probably your day-to-day, your small town type of mall. So you're going to have a lot of people that will go to this one and shop for Christmas and just holidays and a little bit of everything in between. Then you have the places like, I think it's the Village at South Park is over here as well. This is just kind of like where a lot more boutique type of shops are, and just some local eatery places. And then you have Phillips Place as well. There's just some like outdoor retail and restaurant areas as well. So if you really love the stores and those boutiques and the restaurants and just really convenience and kind of almost walking distance in a way, or maybe just a short drive, because Charlotte's not really like a walkable type of city, then Charlotte, South Park is really going to deliver on that. So you're going to have lots of high-end type of dining and nightlife type of venues or restaurants to go to as well. There's just a large luxury type of scene here in the South Park area. So when people hear South Park, they think high end, just because there's a lot of high end restaurants, high end places to go to. There's some golf courses nearby and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things like that going on around South Park. Some of the most beautiful roads will be around South Park area, going up towards Myers Park and areas like that. So it's something to definitely consider when you're moving, because you're going to see these houses that are mansions that are going to be on each side of the road with tree-lined streets, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And this whole area is just really, really beautiful. Now, here we have the Myers Park Country Club and the whole Myers Park area. So this is a little bit north in between your Uptown and your South Park area. So Myers Park really has a great feel to it. So you're going to have, it's right next to Dilworth. So you're going to have that quiet suburban type of living, and a lot of those historic type of homes. You're going to see homes on each side of you when you're driving down the street, these beautiful streets where it's got completely tree lined and covered. It's really one of the most beautiful things. And my favorite things to do is just drive through the Myers Park and the South Park area through some of these neighborhoods. You'll really be impressed by a lot of them. And they're just established and have a lot of really great, desirable places to live in. So you're going to have, homes-wise, you're going to have a lot of classic homes, more of that colonial type of home, or that Tudor or Craftsman styles. And many of the houses are going to be historic. They're going to be well-maintained, big old yards, well spaced out. You're going to have a very nice, elegant, established, and like prestigious type of feel when you're in Myers Park. And that's really, those three words, I guess that's the best way to really describe the whole area around South Park and Myers Park, is just having that elegance and just feeling a little bit more prestigious in a way. So you're still in this area. You're going to have Freedom Park. Freedom Park is actually going to be about a 98-acre piece of property around the South Charlotte area. It's going to be surrounded by a pond. You're going to have lots of nature nearby, and it's got trails for bikes to walk on. On the other side, you're going to have baseball fields and softball fields, and there's tennis courts and all kinds of different things. So it's really like one of the major parks that is in the Charlotte area. So it's really, really nice. Now, I am going to go ahead and move on a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and while we're in the South Charlotte area, a little bit further south, but before I was about to cover Pineville, but before I cover Pineville, let's go ahead and talk about Ballantyne. Now, Ballantyne looks small here on the map, but Ballantyne almost can be a city in itself because Ballantyne is where I live currently, and absolutely love it. There's a lot of stuff to do here, lots of golf courses and all kinds of things. They just opened up the bowl in Ballantyne as well. So there's something here for just about everybody you can think of. Ballantyne is a little bit east of Pineville, and it's also south of the South Park area. So you're probably about 15 minutes, I'd say, from the South Park mall. So let's go ahead and say that Ballantyne is really known for its well-kept neighborhoods. It's golf courses, it's got corporate parks, it has a lot of corporate parks and a lot of businesses, Credit Karma, and God, I can't even think of all of them. There's just so many different companies within the Ballantyne area that are in here, and it's got a really nice mix of residential and retail spaces. Fun fact, actually, Ballantyne is it is considered one of the nicest master plan communities in the entire United States. So when you come here, it's really well laid out, well designed, and it's got a lot of things for families, a lot of things for just about anybody you can think of. And there's amenities that goes anywhere from parks. You got walking trails. God, they got tons of walking trails. The nightlife, we got a little bit of nightlife and things like that. I would say for the most part, Charlotte, one of the cons of Charlotte is that nightlife seems to die down a little bit after about 9-ish to 10 o'clock. Don't get me wrong, there's always going to be places that are still open afterwards and that you can still have a good time. You're looking for those clubs, things like that. My wife and I, we don't really do much of that anymore, but that is definitely there for those that want to do that. But there's really just a lot of places to kind of go and shop and go to restaurants and stuff. And if you're considering moving, it's one of the top areas that I enjoy and I live in, and there's just a lot of stuff that's kind of just going on here. So some of the best and top rated school districts are going to be in the South Charlotte to the Fort Mill area. Now, Fort Mill, I know we're talking about Charlotte today, but Fort Mill is just across the border, probably about a 15 to 20 minute drive outside of where Ballantyne is. And really, Fort Mill has the best school districts, or the top rated school districts as of right now, in the entire area. So that is something to consider if you have little ones running around. Let's go ahead, and next I was going to cover Pineville. So Pineville is actually a funny one because even though I live in Ballantyne, so the way our community kind of works is one way that you go out, you live and you go out toward Ballantyne, or you go out the other way, you're in Pineville. So let's see if you can kind of pinpoint where I'm located. But anyways, Pineville is just kind of one of those suburban type of towns. It is a town within the Mecklenburg County. It's just a town within itself, though. And it is just right here. And I find myself traveling here quite a bit just because there's a lot of things in the Pineville stretch, the road that you kind of go down, that is going to have a lot of your restaurants and shopping and stuff. And you got another mall here called Carolina Place. That's just another shopping mall. It's got different things. You have a Sam's Club over this way. And you're going to have tons and tons of different dining options as you just kind of run through the entire Pineville area. So you're going to have a lot of commercial space, but don't get me wrong, there's a lot of residential around Pineville as well. And with that residential space, you're going to have just more of a type of space where homes, I'd say you, for the most part, you got about quarter acre lots, maybe even smaller in some areas. You're mostly going to find like quarter acre lots, and you're going to just be living just kind of like that. So let's just leave it there. Now, before we move any further on the west side, I wanted to cover the airport area. We have the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, which, if you look west of this, across from the river here, we have the U.S. National Whitewater Center. That's a popular landmark here in the Charlotte area. And then you have Belmont. And then you're kind of getting out toward Gastonia, things like that as well. And Belmont's a really desirable neighbor or city to be in as well, because it's just right outside the city. Really, really beautiful. And the downtown's beautiful. They got a lot of events that happen around here with around Christmas time and really just all throughout the year. There's just a lot of community type of events and volunteering work that's going on that really kind of sets this town apart. We're going to be talking mostly about Charlotte, but I just want to kind of touch on that just a little bit, just because Belmont, even though it's not really Charlotte, but it's like right outside, it's really just a spot that is become over the years super desirable for people to be in. You're going to have a lot of those boutiques and restaurants and stuff that it really just make this place feel like a little small town type of home. Now, let's go ahead and jump back into our 485 loop here as we get a little bit north of Charlotte. We were going south as we were kind of talking about South End and some places that are a little bit right outside of Uptown. First, we're going to talk a little bit just northeast up here into the NoDa area. So NoDa is really known for its artsy, creative type of social scene. And NoDa stands for North Davidson. So it's about 5 to 10 minutes from Uptown. You're going, I like to consider this NoDa and the Plaza Midwood area down here pretty close to what Asheville kind of gives me the reminder of. Whenever I go to these areas, it really reminds me of what Asheville, North Carolina is like. So if you've ever been over there, it's that artsy, creative type of scene. So you're going to have music venues, breweries. You're going to see murals on the buildings and things like that, and some restaurants. And there's really it's just a walkable type of town that you walk through. It's got the blue line light rail stop through there as well, and you're going to have pretty much just a good mixed use of like historic mill homes and just like some newer type of townhomes. And who it's for is really just like a lot of like young professionals, I would say. You got a lot of creatives, some artsy people that would live over that way, and who really just want that culture of what it's like to live close to Uptown. Because if you're living in the NoDa area, you have the light rail to kind of travel through. And if you do not have a car or don't want, I definitely encourage, if you're going to live in Charlotte, to have a car. But if you're not going to have one, NoDa might be the place to be, because if you are looking for something a little bit more walkable, NoDa is going to be your area to get into Uptown for work. For my financial folks, it's just a great place to be. Now, the next one on our list is going to be the University City area that I'm trying to get up to here. So University City is really just going to be a more type of urban place. You got some in a suburban mix. So you're going to have UNC Charlotte. This is where the school is. And it does have light rail access that goes straight into Uptown or South End areas as well. You're going to have just more of those corporate offices and just tons and tons of apartments and just new development. There was, over the past year or two, there's just been a lot of new development that has been going on around this area. and a lot of people have been coming in and just purchasing some of these properties and turning around and fixing and flipping them and doing things like that as well. So this area is really for a lot of, I see a lot of students in this area, professionals, some tech workers, and just people who really just want the convenience. And also those are looking for a type of more budget-friendly type of area to be in, where they can grow eventually. So that is what I'm seeing in the University City area. So next, we're going to travel over toward Mallard Creek. So a little bit north of University City is the Mallard Creek area. And Mallard Creek and Prosperity Church area, so you're going to be about probably, I'd say, 15 to maybe 20 minutes from Uptown. This is going to be a little bit newer of a suburban development. So a lot of new construction going on, some more affordable type of homes. It does have easy access to the I-485 and the I-85. Really, we're having a lot of like first-time home buyers and families who just want the space and the value of being up in this area. We're seeing a lot of those type of folks living up in this Mallard Creek and Prosperity Church areas up here near Davis Lake. Mostly talking about Charlotte today, but I am occasionally going up just to kind of share a few details about some areas. I won't talk on them too long, but a little bit further north, you have areas like Huntersville, you got Cornelius, Davidson, all these areas south of Lake Norman on the east side, per se. And this is really just a beautiful place to be in and live if you're trying to be just outside of the city. The Davidson and Huntersville areas is one of the fastest growing type of suburbs in the region. One of the biggest things in Huntersville is this Birkdale Village that you have over here, and it's really, really beautiful place just to kind of shop and look at and go see. And there's just a lot of things up here. It's a really desirable place to be. Cornelius is right here on the lake. You got some really nice high-end homes and some gated communities right off of the lake that are just absolutely spectacular. Davidson Lake. I'm sorry, not Davidson Lake. Davidson College is right up here in Davidson as well, and you just have a lot of Davidson has a nice downtown. A lot of these places have nice downtown areas, and in each of these cities that you can kind of explore. But there are areas that are definitely popular for those that are still wanting to be within driving distance to get into Uptown and get into all these areas. And I keep referring to Uptown because a lot of people do work in a lot of the major corporations in Uptown when they live in Charlotte, but there's businesses all over the place. And depending on where you ultimately end up working and wanting to live, there's usually some good houses and some neighborhoods in each of these communities. So you really can't go wrong anywhere that you choose to live. So the next area I want to cover is just a little bit north of Uptown. You're going to have an area called Camp North End. Now, Camp North End is one of those places that is very popular in the Charlotte area. Camp North End is one of those areas that you can go to that has food halls. They got events. They got events quite often, actually, and just breweries and studios and stuff. There's a lot of creatives, again, that live around this area, and entrepreneurs that live around this area, and people who want to be early in just a growing area. So it's that type of vibe and that type of feel, and it's really not that far from Uptown. So it's just one of those places. North Charlotte is for a lot of folks that we have relocating that are looking for a more budget-friendly type of option when it comes to housing, because you're going to get more bang for your buck the more north that you're kind of looking through some of these areas. So Lincoln Heights and Westchester, you're going to have a lot of options through here that you're going to have a lot of budget-friendly options for some housing and some just different areas throughout. So I'm just trying to speed up because I know I don't want to spend too long on this, but also at the same time, I want you to make sure you get enough information. So let's go ahead and cover a little bit of the East Charlotte area. Now, one thing that we will have, and I know I've already talked about NoDa already, but in the NoDa area, you have a place called Optimus Hall. All right, so Optimus Hall is going to have a lot. This is a big food type of court that has shopping and a lot of things to do. So when you are visiting in the Charlotte area, feel free to stop by here. It's got a lot of different restaurants and shopping. I absolutely love the dumpling lady that is over there, and really, there's a lot of their food's good. They got a Harriet's Burgers in there that's good. They also got a Harriet's Burgers down in Ballantyne that they just opened up as well. But you're going to have a lot of those great options. When you look at this South Charlotte Triangle, as I mentioned, East Independence Boulevard is one of the busiest roads, especially during rush hour times. And I'm actually going to put a map up of what it's like during rush hour. I just took a screenshot of kind of what it's like so you can kind of see what the busy roads look like through rush hour. And you're going to see a lot of that through East Independence Boulevard. You're going to see rush hour traffic all the way through this 77 going into Fort Mill. So that's one of the biggest complaints I hear from people that are living down in Rock Hill and areas that still work in Charlotte, is when they do have to travel into work and travel home for the day. This 77 coming in, this is an absolute nightmare to get through. But some people are okay with it. And if that's you, that's totally fine. But just know that road does get pretty jam-packed around 5 o'clock. And the other roads that get jam-packed is 85. 85 through here, mostly through the rush hour traffic. All those people that are living in Belmont and the Gastonia areas, they are traveling down this road every single day. So this 85 does get pretty chaotic as well. Now, the next one, as you go further north, as far as traffic goes, 77 pretty much travels all the way up through Mooresville area as well. So going up toward Troutman. So this road definitely gets a lot of traffic, obviously from your people that work in Uptown and everywhere else. So you're going to have a lot of traffic that runs through here. Now, on the bright side, you do have toll roads and a lot of these areas that you can kind of take and avoid some of those extended times to kind of go through. If you're anyone like me, definitely take the toll road just to save yourself about 30 minutes worth of drive time, especially on 77. It can get absolutely crazy. Now, 485, pretty much around the loop, you're going to have traffic at different various times of the day. Just because a lot of people that are traveling to all these different areas, 485 happens to be the way to get there. Even though you can take some back roads and some different routes to get places, that usually just seems to be the quickest and straightest shot to get to places. So a lot of folks are on the roads going through there. Now, the next one, there's a toll road that does go through here, but this highway that goes basically all the way from pretty much, I would say, all the way through East Independence Boulevard. As you go all the way down, you're getting down into Indian Trail, down toward Monroe area in Wingate. You're getting a lot of traffic that kind of goes through here as well. And you got a lot of people that do live down this way, down toward Monroe. Places down in Monroe, now they have some of the best school districts in the area, especially their public schools. And it's just it's a great area to be if you're looking for that more affordable home living with just houses that are more spread out. It's definitely more rural. There's a lot of that going on throughout there, all the way through Indian Trail. We've been seeing a lot of new construction communities popping up around Monroe and Wingate area as well. I have lived down in this area, so there's a lot of shopping, some dining, all kinds of things. As you can see, Monroe is getting pretty big as well. So if that's what you're looking for, hey, it's about a 30, 45 minute drive to get into, I would say, the Uptown area. but it's worth it if you're looking for just something where you're not going to have to travel into Uptown every single day. And everyone's different. Some people might think 45 minutes is nothing. Some people might think 45 minutes feels like traveling to the other side of the world. So a little bit south of Charlotte is the areas like Marvin and Waxhaw. Now, Waxhaw is a type of area where you're going to have a lot of rural type of living. You're going to drive down the road. You're going to see horses. You're going to see cows. The bright side of that also is you're going to have a lot of options. And Waxhaw has a beautiful train that goes through the downtown that's still operating as well, and just places that are nice in a way. So Waxhaw has a little bit of everything: restaurant, shopping, dining, bars, and all kinds of different things. You're going to have lots of eating and restaurant places to go to. Now, let's go ahead and cover one more spot here. That's going to be the Weddington area. Now, your Weddington and Marvin area, let's talk about both of those actually. So, Weddington and Marvin they have some really beautiful homes, and it really is going to surprise you if you ever drive through these areas, especially through Marvin. That's probably my dream place to live one day, just because the price point, million plus, pretty much average price point, and it's going to feel private, peaceful. You're going to have upscale living. You're going to have large, thick custom homes, these really big lots and long driveways, and quiet roads. It's going to feel like you're in the country, but you're really convenient to a lot of the shopping and the dining and Ballantyne and all these places that you can kind of go and explore. Schools are another huge draw to why people love this area. It's going to have some of the best public schools in the entire region. It's really, there's a lot of single families in this type of, as you go further south into Charlotte, you really have just a lot more single family types of homes. And most of your neighborhoods and homes are going to be owner occupied. We don't have, there's a lot of, Charlotte is the type of place where we have a lot of people that do still live here, and still live in their homes. And let me take that back. It's about I think the stat actually is about 48 to 49% renter heavy. So we do have more owners than we have renters, but the Charlotte area does definitely have a lot of renters throughout. But as you do travel further south, and also east, as you get into like Mint Hill and some of these places like Harrisburg, you're going to have a lot more single family type of homes where people are actually owning and living in their houses as owner occupied compared to tenant occupied. So that is about it. So we have three lakes in Charlotte. You got the huge man-made Lake Norman up here. A lot of NASCAR drivers and people that live up off of the lake. And then as you travel a little bit further south, you're going to have places like the Mountain Island Lake through here. And then the Catawba River pretty much travels you all the way down to Lake Wylie. And I might be able to pull up a different view so it's a little bit easier to see. Okay. Well, actually, this is a good representation, as I mentioned, about the traffic. So traffic is going to show you 77, 85, 77 down through here, and 77 up here all the way. And then as you can see, your 485 loop is green for the most part. This is pretty normal. And then as you get, this is another road through here. So South Boulevard, I'm sorry, not South Boulevard, that's 77. But South Boulevard does get backed up as well. As you start to see, as you zoom in, there's different intersections throughout South Boulevard that will get pretty congested as well. And also throughout here, you will start to get a bunch of traffic on Providence Road driving home as well, just because it's a pretty popular road, and then your East Independence Boulevard through here as well. So that is about it. And also, this is Lake Wylie. Lake Wylie is down through here, your Mountain Island Lake, and then your Lake Norman. I wanted to show you that and pull pull that up. So I hope you enjoy this video. As always, if you have any questions or just anything that you need, if you're looking to relocate here, I have a link down in the description that you can click on, and basically that books a 15-minute discovery call with me directly to where we can talk about your goals and your timeline and what it's like, and just answer any questions that you might have about what it's like to actually move over to Charlotte. But I know this is a really long video today, but I wanted to just really just try to unpack as much information as possible. And I know you're probably tired of hearing from me, but without further ado, I will see you on the next one. Take care.